So Betsy Rothstein was a gossip columnist for the Daily Caller website, and she lost a long-running battle with cancer. And it's interesting here how the media reaction falls along partisan lines. Even in death, if you are not advancing the power of the Democratic Party, you must be destroyed. They didn't even wait for her funeral to finish before attacking this woman. Here, a CNN reporter has a reaction to the death of Betsy Rothstein. Here was the CNN reporter's reaction. I didn't know Betsy Rothstein and only read her occasionally, and I am sad that she passed away. But there's clearly a divide in values when almost everyone mourning her online is a white reporter who covers D.C. Really, the most important thing about this woman's death, a journalist, is that he notes the skin color of those mourning her. And you can see some of the Twitter replies here. I am mourning Betsy, and I am black. She was a conservative for sure, but she was a deep human being. I will miss her. So why is it so important to get a partisan win over even someone's death? The attitude of the CNN reporter here is telling, because his attitude is not unusual. Here's a website called heavy.com, and apparently this website takes itself very seriously as a hard news website. And look at this ridiculous headline. Betsy Rothstein, controversial gossip blogger at the Daily Caller, dies. And they repeat that down here in the article. And the article here gives a Kevo. Many conservative politicians and journalists on social media have written tributes in her memory. However, at heavy.com, the intolerant, closed-minded, hate-filled reporter Talis Shelbourne thinks it's more important to attack this very recently deceased person for transphobia, racism, and other divisive behavior. Everything must be used to advance the power of the Democratic Party. If you're not advancing the power of the Democratic Party, you're not only wrong, you're evil, and you must be destroyed. We haven't seen this attitude since the Vietnam War, where Viet Cong cadres would hold meetings in the middle of the jungle, encouraging self-criticism of the Viet Cong soldiers, and then the rest of the cadre would join in and bitterly criticize all the failings of whoever was up for self-criticism. So, modern progressives have taken the worst aspects of communist theology from the 20th century and applied it to their political goals in the 21st century. Let's go to an actual obituary for Betsy Rothstein. This is from the WashingtonExaminer.com. Betsy Rothstein, you'll be missed. There is no one more responsible for shaping me as a journalist than she is. Something many veteran reporters in D.C. would say is my detriment, but they're wrong. The only thing truly respected in Washington, even if it's just as resented, is fearlessness. So here we have a woman who was fearless in her opinions and her reporting, and she's hated for her fearlessness by the progressive orthodoxy. Now, these phonies at CNN and Heavy.com, normally they will be bragging all day and night about how they support powerful women, how they support women with an opinion, how they want women to stand forward and show how strong they are. But if you don't report precisely in the way they want, they take the opportunity of your death to destroy you. She can't defend herself from attacks by scum like this Talis Shelbourne or the CNN reporter Nathan McDermott. These people are scum. When someone writes their obituaries, would they want someone like a Nathan McDermott or a Talis Shelbourne to write nasty articles about them? So the idea that someone's a journalist is not protected. The idea that someone's a female journalist is not protected because Betsy Rothstein did not serve the Democratic Party, and therefore she is the enemy of journalists like these people. And these are mainstream websites, mainstream news outlets. There was no question she was afraid to ask, no subject she was afraid to broach, no adjective she was afraid to write, and no fight she was afraid to engage, and that goes for Twitter and in person. I'm lucky to have known her, as was everyone in her life. I miss her. Now, let's go to a nice obituary in her honor at the company she worked at, thedailycaller.com. I wanted to let Betsy speak for herself here. And notice that these reporters that hate her, they don't know anything about her. They don't know anything about her career. All they know is they should hate her because she didn't work for them, for the Democratic Party. Betsy was tired. Her beloved spaniel slept in her lap. Just before I left, she lifted her head and looked at me directly. Her eyes were clear. I asked her what she had been thinking. Nothing is definite, she said. You think you know what's going to happen in life, but you don't. It's not up to you. As we see artificial hatred, artificial outrage, artificial virtue signaling from Democrats across this country in 2020. Compare that with the genuine humanity of those who worked with this woman. And rest in peace, Betsy Rothstein.